Browns is the Browns. This is the most hype they've ever had. Like, it's the Browns.
Exactly.
So, he got drafted to the wrong team. That Sanders name, I'm telling you right now, there's only one person that understands business, and he will trade his quarterback for Sanders. Dallas is where Sanders is gonna be.
Wow.
Because that name on the back of that jersey is legacy, and he's gonna want that to ring bells around.
The NFL rumor mill just hit overdrive, and all eyes are locked on Andrew Berry allegedly losing his cool in dramatic fashion over whispers of Shedeur Sanders being tied to the Dallas Cowboys. Picture the Browns GM hurling papers like ninja stars while Jerry Jones creeps in the background holding a Texas-sized checkbook ready to make chaos happen. Is this reality or just another twisted chapter of America's favorite soap opera in shoulder pads? This story's about to explode.
Cleveland believes in Joe Flacco's experience and Dylan Gabriel's ability to back him up. Andrew Berry still thinks there's a place for Shedeur on this roster, but his chances of seeing regular season action in 2025 are unlikely. You can see on the left there in the picture, and I'll read you the full quote, unless things get really weird. So this is what the actual snippet from the article said. Then I got a question for you. Diana Rossini wrote, for all the football conspiracy theorists out there, they're trying to decode the real reason the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders. Here's the truth. There is no big secret. The pick wasn't some master plan from ownership. It was GM Andrew Berry's call, rooted in his belief that Cleveland's coaching staff could bring out the best in Sanders and help him grow into an NFL quarterback.
Andrew Berry ain't just irritated, he's boiling in that dangerous stage of rage where every option's on the table. Flip the desk? Torch the playbook? Or maybe even send Jerry Jones a box full of glitter just to make a point? That's the level he's at right now, and everybody in the league can feel it. Berry's been holding on to Shedeur Sanders like he's a rare gem locked in a vault, only trotting him out in garbage minutes when half the roster is already booking Ubers home. It's like buying the flashiest sports car on the block, then only taking it down the driveway to check the mailbox while bragging to neighbors about the engine. That's exactly how Cleveland's been treating Shedeur, and fans are starting to lose patience.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is, of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless. Legendary.
Shedeur has had zero legit game time, not a single meaningful snap, and when he finally does touch the field, it feels like some throwaway charity match stacked with future ex-Browns who already know their parking passes won't work after halftime. You can't even call that development. It's straight-up witness protection football. Yet Andrew Berry keeps convincing himself he's carefully managing Shedeur's growth, spinning it like some master plan. But in reality, it looks more like locking your rarest Pokemon card in a dusty shoebox while the Cowboys are already blowing up eBay, ready to drop a jaw-dropping bid. And Berry's just sitting there sweating, hoping nobody notices.
Ever not gotten really weird.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Does that mean Flacco and we already know he's the third quarterback. So what? Nothing weird has to happen. The first two quarterbacks got to get hurt or be terrible.
Yeah, that's.
And then he'll get a chance.
That's what she means, I think.
Yeah. So, but who didn't know that already?
I think we all knew that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why that's a news story.
Because it makes.
I mean, she's the first person to put it in print where she says he's not playing this year.
But he's going to play this year, I assume, because I don't think these guys are going to make it through the season. Joe Flacco, no way he's going to make it more than 4 or 5 weeks. It seems very unlikely.
Now the rumor drops. Shedeur Sanders linked to a Cowboys blockbuster trade, and Andrew Berry reacts like somebody just told him his fantasy football roster got auto-drafted. You'd think the man woke up to find his Netflix password hijacked, and the whole league laughing at him. Fuming doesn't even scratch it. Berry's in full meltdown mode, storming the halls, muttering about wasted potential, probably firing Nerf footballs at interns brave enough to glance his way. This ain't just about losing a player, it's about losing credibility. Because if Dallas swoops in and snatches Shedeur, it proves exactly what fans have been screaming from the stands. Cleveland never had a clue how to handle their future star.
And Dallas seems to be a place that can check all the boxes for Shedeur realistically, instead of Cleveland. So we're gonna see. So I think the Dallas Cowboys could be his next.
I mean, it's a Cowboys move. It's Jerry Jones. It's exactly what he would want to do. Now, as far as Shedeur Sanders being like, future quarterback, or, future wide, like all that stuff, like bringing him in, of course you want to see it. But I mean, you just signed Dak Prescott to how much money? He got hurt.
$60 million a year.
I know.
And of course, it had to be the Cowboys. Only America's most dramatic franchise could take a whisper and turn it into a wildfire headline overnight. They don't just hunt for talent, they hunt for spectacle. Billboards, highlight reels, even cinematic trailers that feel like movie premieres. If Jerry Jones catches the faintest whiff of a storyline that can move 1,000 season tickets before breakfast, he's diving in headfirst. Shedeur Sanders rocking that star on his helmet isn't just about football. It's about primetime ratings, surging jersey sales, and Jerry waving his checkbook around like it's a magic wand. Andrew Berry knows this, which is why his blood pressure right now could be picked up on the stadium's decibel meter. But suddenly the Cowboys sniff around and Cleveland scrambles into panic mode. Now he's valuable. Now he's part of the future. Really? The same future where Shedeur was shoved into garbage snaps with linemen already polishing their resumes and updating LinkedIn profiles? Fans aren't buying that rewrite. They've watched the Browns treat Shedeur like a science project, not a quarterback. They saw him tossed onto the field alongside teammates, playing with the energy of a substitute teacher watching the clock on a Friday afternoon.
The Dallas Cowboys are trading Dak Prescott to draft Shedeur Sanders. Hey, hear me out. I know y'all been hearing these rumors about Dak Prescott going to the Browns. If it's out like this, it ain't fake. This is what I think is happening. Remember when Jerry Jones made that call to Deion Sanders? It wasn't about the head coaching job. It was about his son. And I think that Jerry Jones is trading Dak Prescott for draft picks and a player so they can move up in the draft and draft Shedeur Sanders. Remember.
And of course,
Shedeur's
it had to be the Cowboys. Only America's most dramatic franchise could take a whisper and turn it into a wildfire headline overnight. They don't just hunt for talent, they hunt for spectacle. Billboards, highlight reels, even cinematic trailers that feel like movie premieres. If Jerry Jones catches the faintest whiff of a storyline that can move 1,000 season tickets before breakfast, he's diving in head first. Shedeur Sanders rocking that star on his helmet isn't just about football. It's about primetime ratings, surging jersey sales, and Jerry waving his checkbook around like it's a magic wand. Andrew Berry knows this, which is why his blood pressure right now could be picked up on the stadium's decibel meter. But suddenly the Cowboys sniff around and Cleveland scrambles into panic mode. Now he's valuable. Now he's part of the future. Really? The same future where Shedeur was shoved into garbage snaps with linemen already polishing their resumes and updating LinkedIn profiles? Fans aren't buying that rewrite. They've watched the Browns treat Shedeur like a science project, not a quarterback. They saw him tossed onto the field alongside teammates playing with the energy of a substitute teacher watching the clock on a Friday afternoon.
But like I said, man, I'm telling you, bro, if Shedeur at number 12, if Shedeur sitting at number 12 and the Dallas Cowboys on the clock, he coming to Jerry World, bro.
And let's be real, Shedeur Sanders in Dallas fits the script almost too perfectly. The Cowboys are addicted to drama. They thrive on storylines so wild they make ESPN producers cry tears of joy. A Sanders leading America's team? That's reality TV wrapped up in a football uniform. You can already picture Jerry Jones sketching out a whole series. Locker room confessionals, dramatic camera pans, Shedeur front and center like the star of a primetime show. While Dallas cashes in on the circus, Andrew Berry will be left pacing, shaking his head, wondering how the kid he barely let touch the field became the single biggest headline of the NFL season. It's poetic irony. Berry's anger isn't rooted in principle, it's in being exposed. Once again, the team notorious for mishandling quarterbacks might have tripped over their own future, and this time it's happening on a stage so massive that even the most casual fans can't ignore it. And the craziest part? Shedeur doesn't even have to lift a finger. No begging for snaps, no sulking on the bench. He just has to exist while Dallas stirs the pot and Cleveland combusts. He's sitting in the calm eye of a hurricane, sipping water, while Barry looks like a man watching the end credits roll on his GM career. Dallas whispers his name, and instantly he's transformed into the most valuable quarterback Cleveland never bothered to use.
I think Dion is going to be the third father to son to get drafted in the first round.
I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. Come on, like, to say is Shedeur not going to be a first-round talent and a first-round pick, I think he's going to be top 5. He might be number 1 overall taken player in the 2025 draft. That's a bold statement. Go on clips, go on to mark it up, however you want to say it. D-Jack said it here live on 2510. He might be the first player taken in the 2025 draft. That's a no-brainer, man. Yeah, he's
So, whoa. See, now I think Shedeur is the best quarterback in college football, hands down.
So that's the number 1 pick, yeah.
But
Travis Hunter.
He should not be the first pick overall.
Who? Shedeur?
Yes.
I mean, do you know who might be?
Don't matter.
Might be the Raiders.
So here's the setup in all its tragic comedy. The Browns, a franchise that has historically treated quarterbacks like disposable coffee cups, now stand on the edge of losing Shedeur Sanders to the Cowboys, the team that turns every player into a blockbuster movie star. On one side, you've got Cleveland, hoarding him, benching him, wasting every ounce of potential. On the other side sits Dallas, smelling headlines, money, and pure entertainment value. And stuck in the middle is Andrew Barry, bouncing between screaming into a pillow and drafting an angry email to the football gods themselves. Nothing screams Browns football louder than fumbling the bag before the game even starts. Now the rumor doesn't just linger, it hangs over the franchise like a bad play call replaying in slow motion. And the funniest part? Watching Barry fume about it becomes the kind of accidental comedy Browns fans have been forced to master over decades of heartbreak. Because deep down, everyone sees it. Shedeur in Dallas feels inevitable, almost scripted. That's why this rumor cuts so deep, it stings worse than a fourth-quarter collapse. It exposes exactly what Cleveland pretended not to be, while handing Dallas the one thing it craves most: attention, spectacle, and a quarterback with the Sanders name ready to shine under primetime lights.
I think it's going to happen to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be a middle-of-the-road team this year. I think it's going to be done on purpose. They're going to fire their coach. They're going to let Dak go. They're going to then draft Shedeur Sanders and hire Deion Sanders as their head coach.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
That's a good take right there.
That is hot. Piping hot.
You think that happens?
No. Don't.
I can see it, though.
The setup couldn't be louder if it came with neon signs and a marching band spelling it out at halftime. Shedeur Sanders has been planted in a football version of quicksand, where every snap feels like an empty audition for a franchise that acts like he doesn't even exist. Andrew Barry is probably pacing at night, mumbling about his quarterback mess like it's some tragic soap opera plot. But let's keep it real. Barry doesn't call the plays. He can rant, pout, and launch office chairs across the room, but until Kevin Stefanski decides Shedeur deserves more than garbage time in games already circling the drain, he's just a luxury car locked away in the garage. Instead of roaring down the highway, he's standing on the sidelines, clapping for vets whose best days expired years ago. Like that's supposed to be development. If that logic held any weight, then every water boy in NFL history should be wearing a gold jacket in Canton right now. Fans aren't blind. They see the setup. Shedeur's been boxed in, bubble-wrapped so tight he can't breathe, let alone play. It's like strapping someone into a parachute, hyping them up for the jump, and then never letting them board the plane.
Already knew and already knows Shedeur is him. Look, he said it from jump. I don't know exactly what day he said it, but he said, hey, Shedeur will outperform his 5th-round draft pick status. He know that. He already went on record saying that. Walked up to Shedeur and let him know, bro, I'm proud of you. To me, that's his pick. To me, really behind the scenes, that's Jimmy's pick too, the owner. So, it's week 1 of the NFL. We are week 1 with the Browns. We are week 1 with everybody else in the league. You know.
Andrew Berry, for all his flaws, at least sees the madness for what it is. He wants Shedeur Sanders on the field because even he knows hiding him away has turned into a full-blown PR nightmare and a reckless waste of pure talent. But Kevin Stefanski? The man refuses to budge. He could watch Shedeur drop absolute lasers in practice, command the huddle with confidence, and still act like the kid's just a toddler tossing around a Nerf ball. It's infuriating. It's like Stefanski would rather ride out a losing season with fading vets than admit, just maybe, the rookie deserves his shot. And here's the cruel twist. Shedeur's done everything right. Humble, dedicated, grinding nonstop, doing exactly what the organization asked of him. Yet somehow, that patience and discipline is being used against him. Forget being Cleveland's obedient rookie. Forget standing quiet while Stefanski plays quarterback Tetris with guys who couldn't throw a beach ball into Lake Erie. It's time for Shedeur to think about himself. Because let's be honest, the Browns haven't shown one shred of evidence they know how to handle him. This is the same franchise that turned quarterback mishandling into an Olympic sport, converting promising talents into cautionary tales so consistently it might as well be stamped into their official logo.
Shedeur Sanders is there for some reason. Would you take him?
You're going to need something for the future. And if you get a chance, absolutely, I'm taking him. I'm going to take Shedeur Sanders if he's there. And with Shedeur and then Dak and
Genty. You would take Shedeur over Genty.
I got personal things I'm trying to make go down here. You know, are you serious?
I got you. I got you.
Right.
Well, you know Shedeur better than the average person.
And I love Shedeur. And all that noise that people are talking about, when you're talking about, oh, he's this or he's that, I'm like, shut up. He's exactly what you need. Let me.
And Shedeur Sanders. He's staring down the barrel of becoming the Browns' next victim unless he finally draws the line and says, enough. He's got to take control of his own narrative, even if it rattles a few cages in the process. Right now, the whole mess feels like some twisted test. How much disrespect can Shedeur absorb before he realizes his career matters more than protecting Kevin Stefanski's fragile ego? Fans are practically begging him to choose himself, not out of arrogance, but out of survival. When Cleveland's so-called plan looks more like sabotage, putting yourself first isn't selfish. It's basic common sense. And maybe that's what this entire saga is boiling down to. Shedeur doesn't have to be rude, he doesn't have to torch every bridge on his way out, but he cannot keep being the polite bystander in his own story. The kid has the talent, the name, the pedigree, all the makings of a franchise quarterback, and yet the Browns are treating him like a science experiment shoved in the back of the lab. If he listens to his fans, channels their frustration, and flips it into fuel, he can finally break free of this trap. Because let's not sugarcoat it, he has been set up to fail from day one. Cleveland drafted him with all the hype, dangled him as the future savior, and then locked him away like some rare comic book nobody gets to read. And when they did put him on the field, it was with players already halfway out the door, guaranteeing he'd look average no matter what.
Shedeur Sanders is there for some reason. Would you take him?
You're going to need something for the future. And if you get a chance, absolutely, I'm taking him. I'm going to take Shedeur Sanders if he's there. And with Shedeur and then Dak and
Genty. You would take Shedeur over Genty.
I got personal things I'm trying to make go down here. You know, are you serious?
I got you.
Right.
Well, you know Shedeur better than the average person.
And I love Shedeur. And all that noise that.
And the Browns have made it crystal clear through their actions, if not their words, that Shedeur Sanders is not a priority. At this point, respecting their so-called system isn't professionalism. It's straight-up masochism. Fans see it. They know the truth. Shedeur deserves better. Better than token snaps, better than polite applause on the practice field. He deserves the chance to actually lead, to actually play, to actually prove that the Sanders name is more than a box office draw. It's football legacy. And if Cleveland won't give that to him, then it's time for Shedeur to stop being overly respectful and demand his worth. Because here's the ultimate irony. Every delay, every refusal, every weak excuse only pushes him closer to Dallas or any other team willing to treat him like the real quarterback he is. Every time Stefanski digs in his heels, every time Berry wrings his hands without action, the Cowboys' rumor grows louder, heavier, harder to ignore. And when the day finally comes, when Shedeur chooses himself, steps away from this dysfunctional circus, and lands with a team that values him, the Browns won't get to act blindsided. They'll know they wrote this ending. They set him up to fail. And the only way forward is for Shedeur to flip the script, choose himself, choose his career, and leave Cleveland holding nothing but excuses. And honestly, that would be the coldest, funniest punchline of all.